Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation.
Yes, indeed. That is the main foundation. We need to be tolerant, we need to be productive, and we need to put Grenada first in everything that we do. We want to transform this place we call home, but it requires all of us doing the very best in our field, in our little space, to make things better for our children and the children. I want to welcome you to the hub. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off tonight by again extending my deepest condolences to the two families who lost loved ones in that bike accident. I know the weekend started off very well with very little incidents and accidents, but tragedy struck and two families are in mourning. The first, the gentleman died or was pronounced dead on that very day, and this morning we heard about the other. There are two young men, and it is very tough when you lose young people, right? In their productive uh, or that point in their life when they're most productive. So I do extend my deepest condolences to the family and friends. I also want to extend my deepest condolences to the Dowden family, the father of that young swimmer, I think Sarah Dowden. She went to the Bahamas to represent Grenada. Her father accompanied her, or family accompanied her, and her father suddenly passed. But she had the courage to continue, and she brought home bronze for Grenada in the Carifta Games. You know, Grenada don't have the facility or facilities to have the aquatic sporting aspect of Carifta. So Bahamas having that did that part, and we had the athletics aspect of it. So again, I extend my deepest condolences to the family. I also want to extend my deepest condolences to Kenneth Ned and his family on the passing of his dad. Most people will know uh, the late Whipple Ned, all right, the politician up there in St. Andrew Northeast, I think. She served for a number of years in that uh, constituency as member of parliament, and she served as a minister of government too. Her husband passed only recently, and they were very good friends of the program. He passed in Miami at 93. He will be buried on Monday, the 8th of April. I do extend my deepest condolences to Kenneth Ned and the others, right? The entire Ned family, and stay strong, all right? I had a good conversation with Kenneth today. So, folks, let us get into the meat of tonight's conversation. But may I also add all those who lost loved ones, who lost family members, who lost friends over the weekend or, in the last how many days or weeks. I do extend my deepest sympathy to you and your family. So let us get into the meat of the conversation for tonight. Just saying to you, well, let's start with the positive thing first, boy. All right? Let's start with the positive thing. A Grenadian, someone with Grenadian roots, specifically from Carriacou, she came back and did wonders at the pediatric ward in Carriacou. And they showed appreciation to her as she completed her volunteerism.
Children warded at the Princess Royal Hospital in Carriacou can now recover in a more cheerful environment. The walls of the pediatric ward have been brightened and decorated by Lynn Fleury, who resides in the United Kingdom and has Carriacou family roots. House Officer Dr. Wilfred Sissa and Senior Nursing Officer Teresa Hamlet presented her with a token of appreciation. Both said it is important to show gratitude when someone does a selfless act that positively benefits others.
You came on holiday, but you did not spend a very quiet holiday. We could see the fruit of all your work here in the room, and we very, very much appreciate your work. We appreciate it from the rest of the staff of Princess Royal Hospital, the management that is not here. We want to say a very warm thank you very much. We appreciate it. We don't have money or much to give you, but we have a Thanksgiving, and we also want to present to you a certificate of your hardworking job towards Princess Royal Hospital.
Ms. Fleury, a teacher by profession, is happy to have made the contribution which she believes will aid in the healing process to the Princess Royal Hospital.
This is not what I do, but the fact that I can come and brighten up a little space in Carriacou. My family are from here, and this is the second time in 20 years that I've been here. So to be able to come and bring a little bit of something and leave a little mark for you, it's just honorable for me.
Right, so that's very, very good there. And the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique, they're known to show appreciation every time once someone does something good in their community or in any department. They tend to have a big thing to show appreciation, and they did not disappoint. And I love that room. It will help the kids recover even faster, bring some warmth and joy to them while they're there. So again, take a bow, Ms. Fleury. Congratulations and thank you for your service. But folks, tonight I'm laughing because I don't know if you heard Emlyn Pay. The NNP is in a mess, and we acknowledge that. But now the thing is showing its ugly face in the public. All right? So you have Peter David, who came out early o'clock, and said, look, he's running, and he wants leadership of the NNP. Boy, from that time to now, Keith Mitchell threw all kind of talk on Peter. All kind of zinger, all kind of talk for Peter. Now, Emlyn Pay openly announced that she's running, or she has interest in the leadership of the NNP. It's a whole different ballgame. You're not hearing Keith Mitchell saying anything. In fact, someone said he's happy. He was smiling. I tell you, boy.
The Honorable Emlyn Payne did not dodge the question on whether she will consider the leadership role of the opposition New National Party should current leader Dr. Keith Mitchell decide to call it quits.
My strong gut feeling is that once that vacancy is available for the party, I will offer myself.
Payne, who has 20 years of political experience, is now engaged in doctoral studies. She said the conversation regarding the leadership of the party has not received much attention, considering that there is no vacancy at this time. As a result, she has been reserved when it comes to the topic. During the hour-long dialogue, she spoke of the leadership style she can bring to the table if a consideration becomes a reality.
In terms of style, I would say this. For me, naturally by nature, I have a very engaging personality that filters into my style of leadership. So I believe a lot in engaging. I believe in people's participation, and that's part of my nature, right? Naturally me. Now, in leadership, one has to be able to create that balance. So for me, situational leadership again becomes critical, where you are able to adopt a style that suits the situation.
During her political career, Pearce served as Minister for Religious Affairs. She said her spiritual values are an asset as it relates to her leadership scope.
What I know about myself is that I'm pretty balanced, and I respect people's choices and their views on issues. Religious tolerance is also very important, and you have to know. So for example, how do I...
The Honourable Emlyn Pearce did not dodge the question on whether she will consider the leadership role of the opposition New National Party should current leader Dr. Keith Mitchell decide to call it quits.
My strong gut feeling is that once that vacancy is available for the party, I will offer myself.
Pearce, who has 20 years of political experience, is now engaged in doctoral studies. She said the conversation regarding the leadership of the party has not received much attention, considering that there is no vacancy at this time. As a result, she has been reserved when it comes to the topic. During the hour-long dialogue, she spoke of the leadership style she can bring to the table if a consideration becomes a reality.
In terms of style, I would say this. For me, naturally by nature, I have a very engaging personality that filters into my style of leadership. So I believe a lot in engaging. I believe in people's participation, and that's part of my nature, right? Naturally me. Now, in leadership, one has to be able to create that balance. So for me, situational leadership again becomes critical, where you are able to adopt a style that suits the situation.
During her political career, Pearce served as Minister for Religious Affairs. She said her spiritual values are an asset as it relates to her leadership scope.
What I know about myself is that I'm pretty balanced, and I respect people's choices and their views on issues. Religious tolerance is also very important, and you have to know. So for example, how do I feel about someone of a different religious view that is opposite to mine? So it means that on any issue, regardless of your conviction, you have to remember you're not leading yourself.
There has been much debate as it relates to the leadership of the New National Party, especially after the general election defeat. Pearce confirmed that at this time only one member, Peter David, had publicly indicated his interest in contesting the leadership seat of the party.
Yeah, so yeah, that was Emlyn Pearce, you know. I tell you, the NNP is a piece of mess. The NNP is a piece of wreck. Yeah. So that was Emlyn Pearce.
Minister for Legal Affairs and Labour Minister Claudette Joseph says government is working to get to the bottom of a number of questionable business transactions under the past government. She said these ghost companies, as she refers to them, have fleeced government of lots of monies.
In one case, in less than a year, $2 million in less than a year.
Wow.
Paid out.
In providing what kind of services?
Apparently, services related to implementing COVID-19 protocols in schools.
Oh.
And certainly long after those protocols were no longer in place.
The ghost company in question is the Faith Development Organization, which was contracted by government to manage the school's COVID-19 sanitizing. In a press conference on Thursday morning, former Education Minister Emlyn Pearce said the contracts and other information are available.
The government, through the Cabinet of Grenada,
then engage them to facilitate the provision of the service. So the cabinet did a conclusion to authorize the ministry to proceed to engage. They entered into a contract and provided that service. So I've heard, for example, somebody said, there's absolutely no information in the Ministry of Education or anywhere on this arrangement. Well, the cabinet conclusions are there. I'm sure the contracts are there, the arrangements are there.
The Attorney General questions the identity of the directors of the company, but Mrs. Pear knows them well.
It goes deep. In one instance, it seems to be a ghost company because we can't find the actual company.
All of the persons involved in FATE, I know them closely, all of them. I have a very good working relationship with the organization that is registered as a community-based non-profit organization and have worked very closely with them. My former office manager, Kalistra, is one of the directors of FAITH, responsible for projects. And as I said, the persons involved are persons who are involved in community development initiative and particularly areas that I'm passionate about.
Minister Joseph believes vulnerable people are being pushed to the forefront with the impression that these people are employed by the government when that's not true.
Right, so yeah, so Emlyn announced that she's interested. She reached to that point where she will put up her name for leadership within the NNP. All right, she did not, hide anything. She will put forward her name for leadership. But I remembered vividly when Peter David announced that he's interested in leadership of the NNP. And from then on, Keith Mitchell went on a rant. Keith Mitchell had everything to say. All right? So I'm not surprised. I knew from day one that they never wanted Peter David.
I am not going to support any and anybody just because they want power. I will support persons who are interested in the development of this country. That is my responsibility, and I will not shift. I will not shift. And no one, anyone coming and tell you, Doc say he'd go in, and Doc say time he won't run again. When I want to tell you that, I go tell you. Let no damn person come and tell you that. Tell them they are not Doc friends to come and tell you that Doc say. Doc will tell you himself.
Yeah, so that was Keith Mitchell, when Peter announced that he interested in the thing. Let me get like a piece of him again.
Speaking of express interest in the party, then we go Honorable Peter David.
Yeah, well, Peter, I have said to Peter, I have said to the team, anyone that is involved in political life and, for example, is an elected person, particularly so, and do not one day wish to be a leader, you are not going to be the best representative or best political person. It's good to have ambition, and there's nothing wrong with that. I always challenge everybody to say it is not the ambition and the need, the wanting to have a position, it's how you do it. Mm-hmm. So I think that is precisely what I have done, told all the members of our party going forward. If and when I decide to demit the political leadership position, I certainly would want to see persons who reaches to the top, the people that understand the process and who understand not the position that you have to worry worry about more. You have to more worry about what you're going to do for the people that rely on you and your service to be able to improve their lives. So
I notice you say when you decided to demit, would Dr. Mitchell be on the slate of candidates for political leader at the next convention, whenever that happens?
I have already said that to my members, that when I see the time is right, I will certainly be taking a position.
Right. Yeah, that's Keith, you know. People who know Keith Mitchell well could predict the man. And people who know politics well, they would be able to tell you from get-go that it was a well orchestrated move by Keith Mitchell and the others who have been there as NNP from day one. They ain't want Peter, according to, speaking in local Palange, they ain't want Peter. From day one, they never wanted Peter in the NNP. You know. They was only using Peter. They used him in 2008, 2013. They got back into power in 2013, all 15 seats. Then they used him again, and in 2018, they got back with all 15 seats. After that, they have no use for the guy because they were defeated badly at the polls in 2022, and they know that he does not have political life in him anymore. And Keith doesn't want a person like Peter to be leader of the party. It means that Keith will not have control of the party. But Emlyn, of course, Emlyn is a little puppet on the string for Keith Mitchell. He could, control that easily. That is why you and hear Keith Mitchell say a word. Emlyn announced that she will put up a name, right? She's considering to, she wants to lead. So once that position becomes vacant, she will put her name in the ring. But you and hear Keith Mitchell say a word about that. He's not going to come out and say all kind of thing about leadership and who want leader and who want this and what. You're mad. He ain't saying that at all. You hear me? Because he's happy that Emlyn is now in the race. And mind you, don't believe she's in the race by accident, because there is this broader segment of the NNP who don't trust Peter politically. So while they might give you the impression that they like him, they liked him when he was with NDC, and the instability, the infighting, the back and forth, and the melee with that clique with his boys. His boys are no longer relevant, right? You had the Michael Church, you had the Carl Hood, you had the Joseph Gilberts, you had the Glennis Roberts, you had Chester Humphrey, you had again, it's a clique. It was a very powerful clique. The Ali Gale, the whole clique of them. At that time, they were popular, they were relevant, they were able to divide. They were able to cause chaos within NDC, in my belief. And they saw Peter as the ringleader. So Keith Mitchell was able to get to Peter's head, right? And Peter eventually moved over to NNP. And boy, he brought a number of people with him. He was, able to cause Grenadians to lose confidence in the NDC. So the NDC suffered a bad defeat in 2013, that election. So NDC was in power from 2008 to 2013. And it was very, very, unpredictable, a lot of problems, real problems with that clique, right? But that no longer exists. So you're dealing now with a NDC who's way stronger, way more united, and they're viewed as very positive for Grenada. They're viable, they're likable, they're, they have political capital in them. They can win at least the next 3 to 4 elections. That is how people see it at this point, right? And Peter don't command the kind of respect and loyalty and following as he did in the past, because you see, it's something else with Grenadians. When you don't have power, your bucket bottom will be removed. You have to have power to really command certain things in this place. And the minute time power is not with you, then you're nothing, really. You might have 1 or 2 loyal people standing with you, but generally speaking, that's what it is, right? So a lot of these people, and some of them, they're pretty old. Some of them, they're no longer involved in the politics. And, people are not gravitating towards them. Grenadians are moving towards the future. Young, smart, bright people, right? Who are not tainted politically, but who is serious about the development of the country. And we are seeing that with this group of men and women in the NDC. So we knew from day one that Peter will never be the leader of the NNP. I knew that from day one. He's trying, he's on the ground, trying to mobilize delegates and so on. But you see, Emlyn is part of the old school NNP. Emlyn is a part of that alliance, meaning the Keith Mitchell clan, the Kate Lewis clan, the Clarice Modest clan, the that group. She's a part of that. The Gregory Bowen clan, the old school. So it is very difficult for Peter to win the leadership of the NNP, because the delegates of the NNP will quicker go for Emlyn Pay over Peter any day. Any day. And they would organize and work towards getting her the leadership. That is exactly what will happen, right? Unless there is somebody totally new. But again, the NNP delegates and supporters, they don't understand and they don't appreciate newness, right? When you're new in the NNP, they see you as, you just come. You can't just come and want leadership, because they're looking at who is their leader. Keith Mitchell is an old guy. He's been there for donkey years. And they believe that you need to climb the rank to get to leadership. It's not like the NDC. The NDC saw the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, intelligent, visionary, smart, forward-thinking, progressive, popular, likable. He's just what Grenada needed, you see? But if it was the NNP, they would not have seen him as viable, right? So a young person coming in there, youthful, smart, a visionary, progressive and so on, they would never make it in there, because you're dealing with a group of, folks who are accustomed with the old. So Emlyn is part of the old school NNP. So for Peter to really get in there, it has to be magic. And that will not happen. So Emlyn putting her name in the hat now is not by accident. This thing was well planned, well organized to keep out Peter, to make sure that Peter does not get the leadership of the NNP. So let's see what would happen. But Grenadians already know Peter David. They already know Emlyn Pay. So they are not unknown. They have a lot of things on both of them politically. And they're tainted, both of them, polarized. And both of them, they are not leaders. They are followers. They are cowards. I'm telling you. And they don't have that popular appeal. They don't have that national appeal. They don't. And with a NDC that's doing well, performing well, delivering, doing things for the people, it's very, very difficult for the NNP. And it will be very, very difficult for the NNP in the next 15 to 20 years. We are not going to get complacent. Don't believe so. And Kim Jones in particular will not become complacent, because I know what politics involves. And I know what one day in politics could do. So I'm not complacent. Don't believe so. That is why I'm always planning, strategizing as we move along. Right? But I'm saying to you, the NNP is in real mess, because they will be further divided. There will be real problems within that organization between now and then. They will not unite around any one of them. They will not. So the NNP is heading for chaos. But it's clear the Grenadian people, they appreciate the newness that we have within the NDC, the team of men and women who are doing a marvelous job, a fantastic job in many different areas. And we have to continue on that path. But we are not naive to believe that the NNP does not have their base and their minions and their agents, their supporters and so on in different departments, different places within Grenada, within the community and so on. There are a lot of NNP supporters who are pretensive. I look at photos of NNP's event when they post it up, and I look to see whether or not there are new faces, new people going to those events, and whether you have people who are within government, working in government departments and different places, who will go to those events. Because I am politically savvy. I understand this thing to a T, right? I mean, there is no need for me to go in person like before, because you know me. I am bold enough to go to those events and look at the people who are attending them. Because these political events, like the Easter Lime and the different political events, they tell a story. Don't fool yourself. They tell a story. Whenever the NNP as opposition have some event, some fundraiser, something, and there are certain people who go to those events, right? They're not going there by accident. Even in the little community, and they have little community events and activities, you have to monitor who going, right? And whether the numbers are increasing, whether the faces are different when they have their different meetings and so on. You have to have people on the ground monitoring it, following and looking for specific things. Like, who are the people who are attending these events, right? Are we seeing new faces? Are we seeing certain trend? So you have to monitor. And that is what I do. I love data. I analyze certain things, because I believe between now and then, we have to know who are people. Because there are a lot of people within government, different departments, who are crooks. They're pretensive. They're NNP. They're NNP supporters. But because this government is inclusive, this government is not victimizing people, this government is not forceful, right? And they don't go after you because of your political allegiance and so on. They become very comfortable in doing this stuff, undermining, sabotaging, disrupting, and messing up the system, because it's like a surgical procedure. They're not going to do everything one lash, step by step by step, until they destroy the whole body. So they cut out the toes, they cut out the hands. That's how they do it. I mean, figuratively speaking, but it's surgically they work. That's what they do, right? And you can see it every single day in the different departments. Don't make them fool you. Those NNP supporters will remain NNP supporters because they feel more comfortable when NNP is in power. They have more room to do all kinds of stuff. Those who in the construction industry who benefited heavily during NNP time in power, they will remain NNP. They're going to pretend, they're going to play nice because they want to survive. They want little work from government. They want contracts and so on still, but they're NNP. That's how they do it. They would come and socialize with NDC people. They want to be around NDC events and activities, so people then will think that they're with NDC, but they're not. That's how they do it to get certain things, right? And you can go on and on and on. They would call you nice, they would hug you, embrace you, but they're NNP. Because I told you before, the mere fact that NNP got 28,000 or so votes after doing all the bad things in government, in my belief, and they still received 28,000 votes. So 28,000 people still voted for them. Says a lot. It says a lot. It means that the NNP, they're entrenched. They're within government ministries. They're within government departments, the police force, prison. They're all about in all the ministries, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Works, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Youth, Ministry of all of them. They're in Ministry of Agriculture, in all those ministries. They are entrenched within those different ministries, and that will not change overnight. It will not change overnight. And their children and children, they will become eligible to vote if they're not as yet. And they will vote for NNP too. They will support their mother and father. Don't fool yourself. One or two of them may change. One or two of them may. But generally speaking, they will toe the line with their mother and their father. That will not change. Don't fool yourself. That is why it is important to look after our people, our supporters. It makes smart politics to take care of our supporters. You don't have to give them all. You don't have to give them the entire pie, right? But make sure that they get a slice out of it. It is so important because you want your people to remain on your side, because those NNP supporters that you think you have or you're going to get them to vote for you, they will not vote for you. When stupid season comes, you ain't seeing them around your campaign. They put on their green jersey and they turn dotodoi, they turn stupidi. They in the camp of the NNP. That's how they function. Because, election time, they jam up because they want the party to win. And if the party loses, then they come back and they play nice with you again because they want to survive for 3-4 years to benefit and so on. That's how they function. So you have to understand that. You look after your people first and foremost. You make sure that they're okay. And there are some people who, after the election, NDC, after the election, for some reason, they get a little work in a constituency office or in some government department, and they believe that they're public servants. Yeah, you're not a public servant. You got there because of NDC being in power. And if NDC was not in power, you would not have gotten any work. You would not have been there. So some of these people, when they talk to you, when they talk to other people, how they conduct themselves, they make you believe as though they got there because there was some interview and they chose them because they're more qualified and they're more this and more that. More qualified what? You joking? If the NNP was in power with all the qualification that you have, you would not have gotten that damn work. You would have been where you are. You understand the point? Because NDC came into power, you got that opportunity to be on a board as a director. So don't go on, you're playing thing and playing nice. Who the hell you are to play nice over people? What's wrong with you? Huh? Calm down yourself. Because if NDC is not in power, you don't have that. You in some department within the ministry, right? Or you're on some special project or some program and you believe that you have arrived, and as though you're some public service appointed person, and you know, what's wrong with you? Even if you're public service appointed, is because NDC is there. Don't fool yourself. The public service in itself, the people who are appointed there, if NMP was in power, they would not have been appointed. No. No matter what. Which part you seeing that? So I'm saying to you, you have to understand what got you where you are. It's NDC. It's the politics. It's people going and vote for the NDC, and the NDC formed the government and got you there. So you're in position because of that. You have some police officers, senior police officers. If NNP was in power, they would not have been appointed where they are. And I hope they drink that and put it in their teacup every morning. If Keith Mitchell, the NNP, was in power, I could call about 10 names of those who are the hierarchy of the Royal Grenada Police Force. They would not have been there. You hear me? Don't fool yourself. It is clear. Some of those ministries, I could call some names of senior people that would never get an opportunity to be there. And we can go on and on and on and on. Some of the statutory bodies and so on. No, you're crazy. That's what politics is. When your party wins, your people go in. They get the opportunity, but they must never forget where they came from. And that happened to the NDC in 2008, 2013. They forgot, a lot of these people get like a government work and government this and director here and this and that. And they forgot what get them to that place. What is the vehicle that got them to that position? Wherever they were getting a little blind, they forget. And they forget the people who worked hard to get the party there and get them there. So don't forget that. So I am not naive to believe that, you know, with NNP, with the infighting and the struggle for leadership and the back and forth, it means that they no longer exist. No. I understand politics to a T. It doesn't mean that, folks. No. Nope. The people are still entrenched. The people are still there. And no matter what the NDC does between now and the election, there would be people that would never be able to change and turn around. No time. Never. You hear me? So we have to understand that. So we have to take care of our people. Make sure our people are okay. And our people who we taking care of should never get swell-headed, big-headed. That you arrive and you're big now and you're Mr. This and you're Mr. You know, you go into some departments and some places, boy. And I watch some of these people who, when NNP was there, they were in the doghouse. They were in the damn doghouse when NNP was there. And I watch them and they watch you as though, you know, yeah, Kem Jones is, yeah, I come to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm not asking you a favor, but you should acknowledge the fact that I'm here. My presence must be felt. You understand the point? I'm not here to intimidate you or say anything. No, we on the same page here. Now you Mr. This and Mr. That and you're playing. What's wrong with all you? You understand the point? Yeah. Understand what got you there. So we must never forget that, because, you know, for me, I'm about history. I'm about learning as we go. That's very, very important. You learn. So I learned from the NDC period, 2008 to 2013. I learned a lot of things from there. Don't fool yourself. There are a lot of things that happened then, and it shaped me to be able to do certain things differently. Look at me, I remain simple, humble. I could have gone in some government thing and jam up somebody and play. No, could have done that. Yeah, but I learn. So even if you get your little position you get, because I'm clamoring for the NDC and for the government to take care of their people, to look for their people, to make sure that our people are taken care of in many different ways, right? Departments and just name it, police, prison, everywhere, right? Statutory bodies and so on and throughout the community and so on. Because I want them to take care of you because I understand the politics. But when you get your little position and so on, don't play that you're high and mighty and you arrive and you're big and you something wrong with you. Because if Keith was there, no way you don't get in a position. You're in the doghouse. And if Keith and the NNP come back in power, they're treating you even worse. They'll treat you even worse. You think you're safe? Huh? If NNP back in power, you're in trouble. All of you all who get like a thing and get like a thing. So the players do you know? No. No, sir. So here it is. I'm saying all of this to say to you, do not become complacent. Do not say, well, okay, well, they're fighting in the NNP. There are problems there. Because I love to see what's happening in the NNP. I like the melee and the confusion happening there. The TB and the confrontation, the fighting and the wrangling and the division and the disunity. I love all of that. I love it. And if I could get I put in firewood under it because I want more thing to happen there. That's me. I'm not hiding it. I love it. But I am saying we have to be tactical and strategic. The people in the diaspora will be very, very important come the next election. You're important now, but you will be pivotal in the next election. Mark my words. To guarantee more seats, to guarantee a solid victory the next time around, you are very, very important. So yes, our base here, very important. The people in the middle, very important. But what it will take for victory to happen again, a bigger victory, it will take our base plus those in the middle, because those in the middle, they are happy, they're feeling good about the NDC, and the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and the entire team, they're really pleased with what is happening, and the diaspora. When you combine that three together, then you get 12 to 13 seats clear cut. It might even be 14 seats come the next election. But we must organize. We must be strategic. We must be tactical. It has to be that. And you can't become so complacent that you believe you win already. For me, I am going right in and all in. So again, I thought I should talk about that. So while I am loving what is happening in the NNP with all the infighting and struggle for leadership and who want leadership and who put their hat in the ring and all the melee there and all the division and what they're doing to Peter. I love to see what they're doing to Peter. Don't fool yourself. All right? I love it. But I'm cognizant of that fact. That politics, that science, a lot of people don't understand it. All right? And there are a lot of things that you need to put in place to guarantee victory. It's not just talk. It's more than that. Far, far, far more than that. And little things matter. Little things do matter. You hear me? In politics, sometimes you just say something and people get vexed. Sometimes you fix a piece of road, but they just didn't build a step down for that home, and maybe it's an NDC person, they get vexed. Sometimes you give somebody a little work and their friends who used to be with you, they say, oh, you could give them and you don't give me. They vex. You give somebody a load of gravel or sand to help themselves. Somebody next door realize you give them and you don't give that family, they vex. Right? You have a little activity, one person or two, they get a little blind, they get some tickets or they get whatever, and it's like that. So those things do happen. You remember what I said last election? You remember there were a lot of people say, well, the NDC and NDC and NDC? I said, for NDC to win the election, we needed a lot of people to come on board. And over time, they did come. Those who were dormant, who were not doing anything, I mean, they were not NNP. Just that they just decide, they didn't like what happened between 2008 and 2013 with the NDC, and they just decided not taking part. We had to get them activated and, active again and involved, and eventually we got there. So we have to work hard, constantly be working to build what we have, to fortify what we have. It is so important. I want to say again, come May the 15th will mark 10 years of your humble servant being on radio and doing, the podcast, doing the programs, volunteering my time and everything, right? Sacrificing my everything towards the cause. It will mark 10 years, May the 15th. I'm having a 10th anniversary celebration at the Trade Center on the 31st of May, Friday the 31st of May. And everyone is invited, but you need to purchase a ticket to come there, and it's just 50 EC. 50 EC, right, for the ticket. 50 EC for the ticket to come. But if you can't make it to that celebration, it would be appreciated. I will be very happy if you can buy a couple tickets as a form of sponsorship, as a form of appreciation. I think that's the word. Form of appreciation for the sacrifice that I have made over the last 10 years. All right? So yes, I know you prayed for me over the last 10 years. Yes, I know there are a number of people who have never stopped giving financially to keep the program on air. Yes, I know all of that. But this 10th anniversary means a lot to me, right? So I want to urge you, it's 50 EC. 50 EC for a ticket. 50 EC. So 100 EC will get you 2 tickets. If you have 100 US, it will get you 5 tickets. If you have 100 Canadian, it will get you almost 4 tickets. If you have 100 quid, 100 pounds, well, they don't come in hundreds. I still believe it's just the 50 as the biggest. So if you have 50 pounds, that would get you about 3-4 tickets around there. All right? Just about that. So I'm saying it's a good opportunity for you to give. Even if you can't make it, send 100 US, send 200 US. 200 US will get you 10 tickets just to sponsor. I'll write your name or so, and I recognize you. You know, some people don't want that, but if you say yes, then we work it that way. But it's so important that you give, that you, and the easiest way to do so is just sponsor a couple tickets. All right? Sponsor 5, sponsor 10. Like this morning, John Fleming, he said, hey, I want to sponsor 5 tickets. All right? You already paid for it. You already sent 100 US for the 5 tickets. You see? So it's so important that you do what you're supposed to do there. All right? Yeah. Sponsor a couple tickets. Give towards that occasion. So the Trade Center, local foods, drinks on sale, local foods on sale, music, it's a celebration. I'm going to have a little ceremony there too. 10 years is a big deal for me and for you, because I have been out here 10 years doing this. That's a serious milestone. I have the tickets. They're available. So I want to urge you, buy up some of the tickets. Buy up some of the tickets. Indicate to me, hey, Kem, I go take a couple tickets. I go buy a couple tickets. I go send all the money, during the month, or because earlier I get the finances, then I can handle stuff towards the event. You see, that's how it goes. So I want to urge you, give towards it, give towards this event. All right. I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night. I will be back with you again tomorrow, God's willing, starting from 8 in the a.m. Bye for now. And if you want to reach me, you want tickets or so, WhatsApp me. 1473-415-4817. That's the number, 1473-415-4817. It's right there under the video, the live stream. 1473-415-4817. WhatsApp me and you can get the tickets. You can pick up the tickets. I can organize it for you. Again, I have the tickets. All right. But every time you call me, say, hey, come on, X, Y, and Z among the tickets, I put on your name and I follow up with you. Take it from there. All right.